Good evening, everyone. This is Fred Carpio, one of the TLs from Square Enix. Today, I'll be doing Introduction to Training Needs Analysis as my final activity for OMPA. Shout out to Burns Pineda, LXL Manager for FEX. She helped me with this activity. Thank you so much, Burns. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start with my case number 1, which is the jump rope. So the instruction is read through the situation presented and come up with 8 to 10 questions you need to answer to help you figure out how to accomplish the task. So the task is Michelle needs to do 2,500 consecutive jumps on her jump rope within 30 minutes. So what do you need, and what questions do you need answered to help her achieve this goal? Come up with 8 to 10 questions. So these are the questions I have prepared for this first case. First is, how many times does Michelle train on a weekly basis? Second, what was the longest time Michelle did jump rope? Number 3, on an average, how many consecutive jump ropes can Michelle make in 30 minutes? Number 4 is, how long is Michelle doing jump ropes? Number 5, how many jumps can Michelle produce for every jumping techniques? Number 6, what are the struggles whenever Michelle cannot complete 30 minutes of jumping ropes? Number 7, what are the tools equipped to assist Michelle in completing the goal? Number 8 is her overall health well-being fit to achieve her goal? Number 9, does Michelle has previous sports background or experience for her to achieve the goal? And lastly, will there be rewards in recognition for achieving 2,500 consecutive jumps within 30 minutes? So the next question is, why did you choose these questions? What did you need to find out? So the reason why I ask these questions is to identify speed, strategies, action plan taken, a result of the action plan, and how can we still improve Michelle's performance. I also want to identify right people to help Michelle achieve her goal. Okay, so we will now categorize each of the questions. So again, the question number 1, it will fall definitely on a skill issue, since we were trying to build a trend. And I think that because building a trend will identify if Michelle has the right skill for this task. The second question, the third question, fourth, and fifth question will all fall under skill. Is there a skill deficiency question? Because just like the first one, this will establish the trend or data that we need, or a baseline data that we need in order for us to establish if Michelle is skilled enough to do the 2,500 consecutive jumps on her jump rope within 30 minutes. Number 6 question will fall on, are there other causes? Because what are the struggles? Of course, the struggles, since we wanna make sure that was answered with other causes line item. Let me just read through the other causes again just to make sure. So for other causes, it says here that can the task be made easier, or what are the any other obstacles that Michelle has? So there. So that's the reason why it fell on number 6, the other causes question. For number 7, what are the tools? Definitely that's can we use a fast fix, because we can just change the tool, we can just change the jump rope. Number 8 will fall in, is it worth doing? Because is her overall health well-being fit to achieve her goal? Because if she's not fit, definitely she cannot be able to complete also the jump rope, the 2,500 within 30 minutes task. So for number 9, another skill deficiency, since this Michelle has previous sports background, so this is another measurement or baseline baseline data that we needed for this TNA. And lastly, are the consequences appropriate? Because we want to make sure, or we want to identify if there are any rewards or recognition for doing the task or for completing the task. So next question, what are the categories did you have many questions on? Definitely zero skill deficiency. And what categories did you have zero questions on, which is not applicable because all of the questions I have question 2. All right, so moving on to the case number 2. The case here is that James needs to drive a steamroller at the construction site in 4 days. So what questions do you need answered to help her or him achieve this goal? So first, is the steamroller in good condition to run at the construction site for 4 days? What will James get if he completes driving a steamroller at the construction site in 4 days? What will happen if James cannot complete the task? Number 4 question is, what are the perceived challenges for not completing the tasks? Number 5 question is, does James have any experiences driving a steamroller or any of the same kind? Number 6, what is the land area of the construction site? Number 7, does James have license in driving a steamroller? And lastly, in case that the steamroller breaks down, where do we get a replacement, or do we have a contact person to fix the machine? Why did we choose these questions? What did you need to find out? So for the case number 2, these questions were crafted to identify if James is fit to run the steamroller. We also want to identify or establish that we have enough resources to complete the task. And lastly, we want to identify the importance of achieving the goal. Which leads us to our next instruction, is to categorize each of the questions. So for the first question, can we use a fast fix? Definitely. The steamroller is in good condition to run at the construction site for 4 days. It's a yes or no question. And then, are the consequences appropriate? Definitely, because we want to identify this one. We want to identify the reward, or we want to know what will happen in case that James finishes the task. The third one is also the third one also fall under are the consequences appropriate, because we want to know the punishment if James won't be able to complete the task. Number 4 question, are there any other causes, because it's another obstacle question or challenges question in completing this task. Next, number 5 question is, does James have any experiences driving a steamroller of any kind? Definitely, we want to establish a baseline again if he's equipped. If he is equipped in driving the steamroller. And then number 6 is, what is the land area of the construction site? What does James have license in driving a steamroller? Is the number 7 question that will definitely, is it worth doing? Definitely, because if James doesn't have a driving license for steamroller, then obviously we cannot be able to complete the task at all. And lastly, number 8 question, in case the steamroller breaks down, where do we get a replacement? Or of course, we want to have this easy fix. Can we use fast fix or easy fix question? Definitely. What categories did you have many questions on? I actually have 2 for this. Case number 2, are the consequences appropriate? I have 2 questions, and 2 questions also under, is there a skill deficiency? And not applicable for categories, did you have any 0 questions on? Okay, now moving on to my real case. So this is a continuation to my training needs analysis, which is the real case part of the activity. So let's discuss the problem. What is the performance problem? Describe the problem deficiency. So the error rate for Game Master's PH has increased from previous report from 2.88 to 6.25%. Whose performance is concerning you? I have two teammates right now, Matthew Jimenez and Ramesh Portugal are the outliers for this cutoff. The said teammates were expected to perform the threshold within the threshold of one error per month. That should be happening, and what is actually happening is the said teammates exceeded the threshold of one error per month. So this is the analysis. Is the problem worth fixing? Identify the things you would consider. So yes, it is worth fixing, definitely. Error rate provides insight on the quality of the tickets we are producing for Game Masters LOB. We will consider retraining the teammates on process flow to ensure compliance, especially challenges in log pooling. So what would happen if we did nothing? Is the potential effect of the performance problem crucial to the business? So to answer that, if the error rate continues, this will negatively impact our performance, thus showing poor quality in the tickets we are attending for Game Masters, which will break client trust definitely and badly influence clients expansion decision, because we are about to expand for Game Masters, so we would want to get the extra headcount for the LOB. So can we apply fast fixes to the performance problem? Are the expectations clear? The expectations are clear to reach the goal of 5% on a bi-weekly basis. We can definitely apply fast fixes by addressing and discussing behaviors and coaching opportunities. So fast fixes: establish goals. If the expectations are not clear, what can you do to clarify them? Of course, establish goals set forth by the teammate. Check for understanding and reevaluate whenever necessary. Make sure that the goals are achievable in relation to the action items prepared by the teammate. Are the resources available sufficient? So we have sufficient tool to address the concern. We also have action plan to better the numbers of the said teammates. We also have people with operations or within operations to assist the teammates to reach goal. And if the resources are insufficient, what can you do to make them sufficient? We can work with the support team like the LX team and quality team to ensure sufficient coverage for the targeted teammates. Moving on. Okay, so we will continue with, are the feedback sessions adequate and effective? Yes, we have two team meetings every week. We also have one-on-one coaching sessions per teammate, or one-on-one weekly coaching session per teammate, plus we have rapid fire coaching to teammates to discuss immediate coaching feedback from quality audit or random monitoring. If the feedback given are inadequate or ineffective, what can you do to provide adequate feedback to make them more effective? So we can also do skip level can verify the feedback with a teammate to ensure that the communication is adequate. So this is where the operations manager will intervene just to make sure that the communication is adequate enough. All right, are the hidden or unexpressed expectations from stakeholders? Yes, for Game Masters LOB, the client silently watching over AHT and productivity. And right now, if there are any unexpressed expectation, we have to think of 2 steps in advance. We have to think 2 steps in advance that before the clients will call us out regarding KPIs, we will create an action plan within the team to avoid future callouts. We will have to make everyone understand the impact of the numbers we are producing, and we should act as well on it. Are the corrective measures in place and effective? Yes, currently we have zero tolerance policy and for quality and error penalty matrix for error rate. We also have established campaign governance document and failure modes and effects analysis as housekeeping guidelines for the teammates within SQE. Of course, this one is not applicable. Are you unknowingly punishing good performance? What are the instances that you can think of where good performance is avoided by the team member because he or she sees no benefit doing well. Um, Initially, the Tier 2 teammates felt that it was unfair that the top performers will report back on site and the average low performers will keep working from home. So what we did is, after coaching these teammates, we were able to calibrate the mindset that we all should have. We should we should all should all be reporting back on site since they are the top performing teammates. They earn clients' trust to work on a larger scale of customers. They also have more exposures on site client visit, and definitely that's a very good feedback for everyone, especially for the ones who's like really applying for, or who's aiming for like a development or career growth. Are you unknowingly rewarding poor performance? Yes, lesser tasks for poor performance. That's, of course, definitely that's from their perspective. So what we have to do is we calibrate with the low performing teammates that having lesser tasks means riskier position at work. They need to understand that having a low performance gives negative feedback to the client, and that will eventually lead to replacements. Skill and knowledge. Is there a skill deficiency? Yes, Matthew just got back from paternity leave. He mentioned that he needs time to brush up on process flow. While Rome is rendering resignation, behavior must be addressed immediately for this teammate. Was he or she able to do it in the past? Yes, historically Matthew and Rome were performing within the threshold. Even they even have months with zero errors for the most of the months. So this one is not applicable. Are the skills needed used often? Yes, this is a process where teammates practice every day, and more exposure to cases, additional guidance will be provided, shifting focus from productivity back to quality, definitely. And then yes, the teammate needs reiteration of the process and rehash to ensure calibration with the entire team. So there are definitely other causes as well. So the task too complex? Can the task be made easier? No, this is a basic part of being a game master. The task can be made easier definitely if the teammate will follow the process or flow chart and case checklist. Um, Feed the teammate resources and guiding him in reiteration of the process, and probably exercises will help him enhance product knowledge, like scavenger hunt, role playing, sharing of best practices and stuff. Are there other more subtle obstacles affecting performance? Yes, supervisors, quality, and tier 2 teammates are currently on training right now, so lesser resource people are available to help them with their cases, because normally we help them and assist them full time, but now that since we're on training, then there's lesser resources of people that they can ask questions, or lesser like time time allotted for them. Does the team member have the potential to change? Definitely. He actually seeks assistance whenever he's unsure. The challenge is to build self-sufficiency and by using available resources to better his handle case. So that's it for my activity for Introduction to Training Needs Analysis. Again, this is Red Carpet. Thank you. Bye.